I've never been more unsure of myself at any point in my entire life than I have been this entire NFL season. Because Jayden Daniels is going to be back in a few weeks. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Command Show. My name is Grant Mitchell, and we are here to discuss what was supposed to be a report card of the players at the halfway mark in the season. Instead, we had some breaking news this morning that Jayden Daniels is effectively fine. He's as fine as he can be. He's just a little sore, and that's it. The team's not putting him on IR. He could be back in a couple of weeks, man. We're going to jump into that in just a second, guys. But before we do, make sure you do hit the like button on this video. Also, hit the subscribe button if you are new around here. It's Friday. We made it to the end of the week. I hope we're all feeling good, feeling nice and happy. Go to the comment section right now. Pause the video if you need to. Let me know what your weekend plans are. Genuinely interested to hear. Love connecting with you guys. I had such a fun opportunity the other day. I got to hop on a podcast with a couple of people that found me through this channel and probably never would have bumped into these guys beforehand. When the podcast comes out, I can't wait to share it with you guys. I'll make sure to make a post with the link and everything because it was hilarious. Genuinely some of the funniest 2 hours of my life, but awesome people. And it only became possible because of, stuff like going to the comment section and telling me what you're doing this weekend. So I digress. Final plug here before we move on to the content of the video. Make sure you do join the Full Command Discord. Link to that is in the description below. So we are going to do a report card for the players in the position groups and everything because we've talked about the coaches enough. Let's talk about the actual dudes on the field, but nobody on the field is more important than Jayden Daniels. And when I saw him get up off of the field and his arm was on backwards, his elbow bent out, I thought this guy's probably 6 months away from playing football. Turns out he was like 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know what Jayden is made of. I don't know if he's made of flubber. I don't know if he's made of is it vibranium? Is that what they call it? The stuff that's in Wakanda, right? It's vibranium, right? I should have come to the video more prepared. Although it is vibranium. Yes. Okay. It is vibranium. Had no idea we were going to be talking about the Black Panther in the Marvel franchise this early in the video or in the video at all. But I don't know what Jayden's got in his body. The government needs to do some sort of study. They need to, whatever is coating his nerves and tendons, they got to use, he is a super soldier because he walked away from that incident without a fracture and without any ligament damage, which is insane. Do you guys remember at the end of last year? It was either against the Buccaneers or the Falcons. Can't remember which one. Where I think he got sacked. He got like bent in half. His knee was like pointing the wrong way. Looked like an easy torn ACL. And he was totally fine. He's had a couple of these moments. I know this was the Tampa Bay game. He got blown up on the sideline. It was a late hit out of bounds. Refs were hating. They didn't call it. And for a guy who had broken a rib early in the year, he just popped up and everything was fine. I don't know what's up with this dude. Like, his body just survives some things it should not be able to. But to get back on track here, Jayden went through X-rays, MRIs. Apparently, we got reports from Schefter and Rappaport and all the heavy hitters. They said that he spoke to some of the nation's experts in this field. He could be fine in a couple of weeks, a few weeks. The team's not putting him on IR. And when you make that decision, it's because you think someone's going to be coming back within 4 games. Now, the caveat here is it's 4 games, not 4 weeks. We do have a bye week coming up, so it could be 5 weeks before Jayden comes back or is at least ready to come back. But the Commanders are leaving the door open. And I've been team shut him down for the year. I don't hate the thought process of leave the door open because against all odds, this is not likely. But if we go on a 3-game winning streak, the team's going to put him out there. They're going to try to be competitive. They're going to try to save the season, get back to the playoffs, and Jayden will want to do that. I wouldn't be as upset with that decision as I was when they left him on the field in the fourth quarter in the game where this injury happened in the first place. But the bottom line here is Jayden's not going on IR. And this is good news for the long term as well. Forget the rest of the season. The fact that he didn't suffer what would have been a season-ending injury, apparently he's just sore. That's good for his confidence. That's good for his body. That's good for his long-term outlook. This is the best news that we could have possibly received. So good for Jayden. I don't know how he survived that, but he did. And so let's move from talking about Jayden to talking about quarterbacks as a whole and talking about the team as a whole. And let's get into the report card at the halfway mark of the Commanders' 2025 season. Okay, here we are. So we're going to go through these position groups one by one. We got 10 groups to hit on. I'm not going to do kicker, punter, special teams. And I'm not doing coach grades because like 80% of the videos on my channel and in Commanders Nation are about the coaches. We talk about them enough. So just want to talk about the players, try to give like 30, 60 seconds on each group. We'll move through this pretty quickly. You'll get the grade. And at the end of the video, we can look back on it and you guys can let me know where you agree and where you disagree. So let's start with the quarterbacks here. I'm going to give them a C+. Jayden Daniels he's not been bad, but he's not been up to his standard, and he has made some mistakes. The offense has been terrible in the first quarter. Marcus Mariota did what I always say you want your backup quarterback to do. When called upon in a bind, you can step onto the field and take over confidently. You can start one game and play well. But after that, if the backup continued to play well, they wouldn't be a backup. They would be a starting quarterback. Our record with Mariota this year, we beat the Raiders. We lost to the Falcons. He came back in the Cowboys game, immediately threw an awful pick six. We got smoked by the Chiefs. So we are what? We are 1-2 with a half of a loss in the Cowboys game as well. And then he's got a Lions. I would assume we lose that game. I don't think that's going out on a limb. And then we got the Dolphins in Spain. Maybe he can win that one. Point being, Mariota, he's played well enough for a backup. He started to trend down. That's what you expect. I'll give him a C+ because, again, Jayden hasn't been objectively bad. He's not been a below league average quarterback, but he's not been changing games. Running backs, I'm going to give them a B-. And I wanted to I considered bringing this grade lower. Bill has really been trending down the last couple of weeks. He's just not done a great job. He did have the couple of fumbles. I wonder if that played into his mentality on all this, but he has shown some flashes. He's shown some really good promise. I do also think that there is a way to better utilize him, getting Chris Rodriguez Jr. or whoever you sign him for agency, whoever you draft, trade for, et cetera, et cetera. Get a bigger back, soften up the defense on the early downs, find a way to bring Bill back out on the field. Also, Eckler tore his Achilles in week 2. He would have been a great pass blocking and pass catching option. And Jeremy McNichols, for what it's worth, has done a very good job playing in his role. He's been very good in pass protection, very good receiver out of the backfield. I think he has our longest run of the year with that touchdown against the Raiders. So I'll give them a B-. On the tight ends, the feelings are not as good. I will give them a C-. Zach Ertz, he is second on the Commanders in receiving yards, leads the team in receiving touchdowns. He was Jayden's target when he was Jayden's favorite target when he was out there on the field. However, he gets basically no yards after catch. He's got a career high drop rate, been bad in blocking. John Bates has had some good moments, but overall, he's not really done a whole lot for this team. And part of that is the injuries, the constant changes. Defenses are allowed to play more aggressively. That totally plays into it. But the tight ends are not really changing the games. And Ben Sinnott has only recently started to get a real uptick in his workload, but it's all been as a blocker for the most part. We're still not really throwing him the ball. The receivers, I'll give them a D. Nobody's available. They drop everything. I guess you could argue this should be even lower. I don't want to punish them for injuries necessarily. It plays into it, but you've seen some good moments from Luke McCaffrey. Chris Moore, as fun as it is to hate on him, he played well. I think it was the Bears game he played well. He had a nice catch in the opener against the Giants, but the Terry stuff is a big miss, obviously. Noah Brown, not even sure if he's alive anymore. Jalen Lane's had a bad year. So maybe, honestly, in hindsight, maybe this could have been like a D- or so, but a D is a reflection that it's not been good enough. The offensive line, I'll finish out the offense here. I'm going to give them a C. They've not been bad. They definitely did not look good against the Seahawks. They're probably going to look worse as we continue with backup receivers and a backup quarterback now and the general momentum of the season not really being there. They're probably going to look worse and worse as the year goes on, but they've had good moments. They've been better in running than they have been in pass protection. They're 9th in yards before contact per carry. At least the Commanders' ball carriers are, and that's a reflection of the offensive line. You've seen an ability to execute different schemes, whether it's gap schemes when we're pulling the guard and the tackle. We've seen Tyler Biadasz pull on one of Bill's touchdown runs. We've seen some good zone scheme stuff. They've been more inclined to work that with Cosme in the lineup and Chris Paul being there as well. But pass protection, it's been getting worse as the year goes on. And that's not what you expected when you started the year by playing Packers, Giants, and then Raiders, who are not amazing, but Raiders have a solid defense. You saw that on Thursday Night Football, and Max Crosby is a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So overall, the pressure rate that they've allowed has been trending up in recent weeks. Again, we can point back to Jayden wasn't playing his best, and backup quarterbacks, backup receivers. That all plays into it, failing to establish the run. I'll give them a C, and individually, if we want to break it down from that perspective, the left side's been good. Tunsil's been really good. Paul's been really good. Biadasz is having a bad year. Wiley did better than Allegretti when he took over it for him, but it wasn't great. Cosme's been all right, and you can tell he's kicking the rust off. I'm not really going to judge him, even though he hasn't been anywhere close to his best. Connerly, it's a work in progress. You can see the potential. Doesn't mean that he's been up to NFL speed. And then Brandon Coleman was awful at guard, looked okay when he got to fill in at tackle. But overall, yeah, it's about average. So a C for the offensive lineman. Over here on defense, getting it started with the big nasties, the big uglies. The defensive tackles get the highest grade of any position group on this team for me personally. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with that assessment. I'm going to give them a B+. I'm not going to go A because they're not taking over games, aside from the Giants game, really. I guess you could say the D tackles and the edge rushers, to be fair, took over that game. But they're not consistently dominating. They're consistently looking good, not dominating. And when we're sitting here at 3-6, it would be difficult to find anyone with an A because that implies there's a certain level of excellence. So what I can say about them is the DTs have been disruptive in the passing game, more so Deron Payne and Johnny Newton, although Kinlaw has had his moments, and Kinlaw has blown up a lot of runs. Payne, a little bit of a lesser extent, but he's had his moments. Newton has gotten some stuffs. Eddie Goldman has actually come out of nowhere and produced some very good moments as well. Even Sheldon Day, when he's been elevated, he's looked like he's got something on the field. Same thing that we saw from him when he got elevated last year. So I do believe this is the best position group on the field. Now, you've got a very high earning defensive tackle in Payne. You've got a free agent signing in Kinlaw. You've got a second round pick in Newton. So they should be playing like this, but a lot of players on the Commanders are not performing how they should. So credit to the DTs where credit is due. The defensive ends and the edge rushers, they're getting a D from me. In some ways, they never really got a chance because Wise tears his quad early in the season, and then Javonte Jean-Baptiste tears his pec, and then Dorrance tears his ACL. Overall, if Dorrance Armstrong never played for this team, this would be an F. If you ask me, if we were doing these grades on how do I feel about last week, how do I feel about next week, how do I feel about the rest of the season, it's an F-. I fully expect this group to be terrible for the rest of the year. Dorrance Armstrong was just having a great year as a pass rusher and as a run stopper. So I don't want to disrespect him, but this is the weakest unit on the team moving forward, and it's something that has to be addressed in the draft and free agency with a trade. Whatever the means are, you have to get there to the end. Get there in the end. I will give the linebackers a D+. Now, we've seen more Jordan McGee recently. We haven't seen Ali Cajo. We haven't seen Kane Medrano. But McGee only got on the field for the first time, really. I know he got some goal line reps and stuff like that a couple of weeks ago. Overall, it's been the same thing it was last year. It's been a whole lot of Frankie Luvu and a whole lot of Bobby Wagner. Now, as much frustration as Bobby Wagner has generated from the fan base, Luvu's probably been worse than him, if we're being honest, because Wagner is still an excellent tackler. We think the communication issues are bad. Imagine what would happen if we took Bobby Wagner off the field. Because he's doing his best to keep everybody on the same page. Certainly not blaming communication issues on him. He's still a tremendous run stopper between the tackles. The problem is everything outside of that, outside runs, pass coverage, it's been terrible. But Frankie Luvu's not done anything at an elite level this season. At least Wagner, we can say, moving forward, stopping the run. Heck, even as a blitzer up in the mug, he's been good. Luvu hasn't done anything great this season. He's got 9 pressures halfway through the season. Last year, he had 42. So he's just not made that positive of an impact, if really one at all. Now, he did get better. It was a really bad first month of the season. Got a little bit better since then, but not even close to the all-pro level he was at last year. And then Wagner, while I can say the good things about his run defense, he's been culpable in so many explosive plays. He just has no speed. He's getting put in unfavorable positions, but he's not doing himself any favors. He's not getting over the top to get outside to stop the run. He can't cover anybody in zone. He can't cover anybody in man. It's been bad. So D+ for the linebackers. For the cornerbacks, I'm going to give him an F, and that's despite me thinking Trey Amos has the makings of a solid NFL starter at the very least. Fully believe that. When you're dead last in yards allowed per attempt, when you're 29th in EPA allowed per dropback, only the Bengals, Dolphins, and Cowboys are below you. When you can't force interceptions at all, now we've seen that change a little bit recently, but they've been so bad. The defense can't get off the field on third down. Every down is a passing down for opponents. 1st and 10, 2nd and 20, 3rd and 2. Literally doesn't matter. Everything is an obvious passing situation. Communication errors all over the place. Guys running scot-free. Just nobody. They can't defend in zone. They can't defend in man. It's been awful. So I'm giving an F to the cornerbacks. And I'm also, I believe in being fair, spreading the love. So I'll also give an F to the safeties. On top of the coverage issues, and this is primarily Quan Martin because we did a lot of single high stuff. Now we've seen a lot of Jeremy Reeves recently. And Reeves, I got to say, Reeves is the best downhill tackler we have on the team as far as rallying, getting to the football, making a play in space. Reeves is one of the best in the NFL. And I think it's because it mirrors how special teams go. Like you're flying down the field, your tunnel vision, and you got to make the tackle quickly in open space. And he's an outstanding special teams player. So I'll give him credit for that. And he has shown some improvements in his coverage ability, but still not been good. And then overall, Quan Martin, again, a lot of single high stuff. Is he being strained because communication's bad, because other players around him aren't performing? Yes, but he's also not been performing. His coverage has been bad. His tackling is awful. He's at a career high in missed tackle rate at 17%. Think about just the last few weeks. Think about I think it was a 55-yard touchdown to DeAndre Swift. Think about the 60-yard touchdown to the Seahawks practice squad wide receiver, a guy who has 22 catches in his career. Both of those should have been short gains, medium gains, that ended up being massive touchdowns because Quan Martin missed a tackle. I've seen him give up on plays. Again, the pass coverage is bad. Tackling's been bad. So it's an F all around for the guys in the secondary. So just to recap here, C+ for the quarterbacks, B- for the running backs, C- for the tight ends, D for the receivers, C for the offensive line, B+ for the D tackles, D for the defensive ends and edge rushers, D+ for the linebackers, and then an F for the cornerbacks and the safeties. Guys, I'm going to head out of here. Let me know what your thoughts are on my grades here. Also on Jayden Daniels, is there a way we can harvest whatever chemicals are in his body to create body shields and armor for our soldiers? I don't know how. I can't believe he might actually come back this year. But let me know your thoughts on all that. Do you think he should come back or not? Do you think we should shut him down? I'll be reading and responding to as many as I possibly can. I'm head out of here. Appreciate you all joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.